Everybody will start with BBC Radio Leicester, please.
Brendan Rodgers here to speak to Ian Stringer.
Brendan, hi. Hi there. Happy New Year. We're not at St James's, incidentally, but we have followed the game and commentated on the game, so we have some level of how things went. And ultimately, they went well for you, but you had to dig in. You had to show a lot of spirit to get there. What pleased you most ultimately about this afternoon's win?
Well, everything. I think, Ian, you've seen Newcastle during the week, very well organised again and playing against a top side like Liverpool. So we knew coming today that we would have to be good in our game and show different qualities. I said that, today is a good chance to show our capability in the team, the speed in our game, the movement, the precision. But also you're going to have to fight. And when it gets to 2-1, with 10 minutes to go, then it becomes a war. So you've got to show you have that ability to defend. And the players done that manfully. So it was a really, really good 3 points for us.
And it was tight quite clearly, Brendan. But after the break, you seemed to come out with a little more vigour, a little more control in the game in the second half. Is that a fair comment? And if so, where do you think that came from? Before the goals, Brendan, and of course, subsequently after the goals?
Yeah, I thought we started the game really well, got into some really good areas, but that final pass lacked precision at times. And we had a couple of moments in the box in the first half where Yuri's just overhit his pass to Tim, who was in a good position. And then there was one time Tim was trying to cut it back. So there wasn't too many opportunities, but I still thought we looked a threat. I just said at half-time, I think we need to be a wee bit more explosive. You're playing against a team that's well organised, that can defend well. It's in the turnover possession that the opportunities can come for you, when they're disorganised a little bit, and then we've got good speed to break out of the pressure. So we did that from a deep position with Barnsley on the first goal, and James ends up getting a really good strike. And then the second one, we defend really well on the halfway line, aggressive, strong, win 2 duels, and then we play wide, and then we explode towards the box, and Yuri finishes it really well.
The explosion, Brendan, for one of them came from Wesley Fofana, who flew down the left wing and was desperate for the ball back. Ultimately, he didn't get it, and of course he provided a decoy and he dragged players out of position, and ultimately the ball went into the back of the net for a wonderful finish for the first goal. But Yuri Tielemans' technique for the second goal, he started it a yard outside the post and it came in, which was a better goal of the two, Brendan.
Both.
I knew you'd say that.
They're so important. To get the first goal against a back line of 5 and 4, you have to that then opens up the game for you. But I thought both goals were very, very good in their own way. We showed real creativity and real good speed of movement in that moment. And like I said, the two boys were really clinical with the finishes. So yeah, we had other chances to close out the game, and arriving into the box and just didn't quite make the keeper work hard enough. But I was really pleased with the last 10 minutes because we showed that we have that ability to stand up and be strong, especially when they get the goal, and see the game through. And that's equally as pleasing as some of the great football.
Is that the progression you've been asking for, Brendan? Like a year ago, 18 months ago, maybe, I'm not sure Leicester City would have held on to a 2-1. I'm not suggesting they wouldn't, but I think that they may not have. And whilst Newcastle threw everything at you, you did hold on and looked relatively comfortable, a few dicey moments. But 18 months ago, a year ago, would you have held on? Is that the progression you're asking for? When you're asking for things to improve, is that what you're talking about, that last 10 minutes?
Yeah, it's just seeing the game through. It's not always going to be about perfect football and precise, fast football. Something you got to dig in. You're coming away against a team that, especially in that last 10, 15 minutes, got real good height in the team, good physicality. So you've got to stand up to that. And that's something that is really pleasing with this group of players. The time is seeing the evolution of them and getting more experiences and finding that mindset to win games, they've seen it out really, really well. So that's a real pleasing aspect.
Only because I promised him that I'd ask you this during the first half, Brendan. Kasper Schmeichel, was he playing Schmeichel's sweeper on purpose during the first half? A couple of times, not only did he scamper off his line, he was towards a halfway line and really seemed to press. Was that a purposeful tactic from you, or is that just Kasper kind of using his head during the game?
Yeah, no, obviously we press the game high, and a lot of the time the back line is high, and then he has to have a relationship with his back four. So his position is an adjustment with the back four. But he's very alert, Casper. It was a great clearance. Obviously, if he doesn't make the clearance, then the guy's through. But his start position was superb, and that's the one thing with him. Certainly, Steve Bruce before the game, he's so active in the game, he's so alert in the game, and whenever he's asked upon, he's been outstanding for us.
One player that Pipes gave man of the match to Johnny Evans today, Brendan, who mainly probably because it was his birthday, to be honest. He did play well, quite clearly. But Mark Albrighton's getting a lot of plaudits today and has been for a fair few games now. I just wonder how impressed you are with a player who has said himself he's had to dig in, he's had to grind. He almost feels as though he's had to prove a point with every manager that's arrived. A word on Mark Albrighton and what you think of his character to come in and perform as well as he has been of late.
Yeah, it's players like Mark that allow you the base to build from. You know, his work rate, his intensity. He's very, very competitive. You know, even when he's not been playing, he trains every day to show that he can be in the team, and his commitment and desire. And I think in the games that he's played, we haven't lost too many games where he started. So you always need balance in your team. We got plenty of guys that can open up the game. They get flair, they get quality, but you also need your soldiers in there as well. And he's one of those. Absolutely joy to work with. You know, shows great experience. He's a Premier League winner. So you don't do that if you're not a good player. And absolutely top professional. And you know, he's very honest to the game. You know, this is a boy who he trains his life to be a professional footballer and prepares himself anytime he's asked upon to play. And when he's played for me, he's been first class. And like you said with Johnny, I thought he was, you know, outstanding today. You know, as you say, it was his birthday, but his reading of the game, his composure, his organisational skills was. You can see why we wanted him to sign a new contract. So yeah, both those guys of experience were very important in our win.
Top class. He almost has as many interceptions in the first half as the referee. January transfer window is open. Brenda, I thought you'd enjoy that. January transfer window is open. I know you're not going to tell me whether there's anybody coming in, but answer me this if you wouldn't mind, sir. Are you having any conversations with any potential players at this stage?
There isn't, Ian. I think that the reality for, you know, a team like ourselves, like most teams, I've got to say, is there won't be a lot of finance around, you know, where the game is at. So there might be one or two going out. If there is a possibility of one's coming in, we know we want to strengthen and we know where we want to strengthen, but that might be really difficult for us in January. One, because of the availability of the type of player that we need to improve us. And of course, finance is not easy for everyone. So, but if I have the same squad, what I've got, then I'm still happy, and then we'll wait to the summer to improve it. But I think the players coming back in, they've been out for a period of time. They'll give us a freshness and keep us really competitive, I hope, to the end of the season.
From me, Brendan, thank you very much for your time and a happy new year.
You too, Ian. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to Craig Hope then, please. We lost Craig. Okay, we'll go to Jordan in the meantime while we wait for Craig to come back.
And you see, the aim for 2021 was European football. You had that performance today, and the players you've got, you'd be disappointed if it was anything less than Champions League football, surely.
No, not really. Our targets haven't changed, Craig. I think for us, there's we're honest with where we're at and with ourselves. We know that there's other squads and other teams that will have greater resources and want to be up there. But for us, it's, you know, in time, we're happy where we're at the moment. We have ambition to improve and develop. And with so many young players, I can see the development of the team clearly. So, but of course, if the season finished now, we'd be really satisfied. But there's still such a long way to go, and we'll finish to finish as high as we possibly can.
Thank you.
Let's go to Jordan then, please.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi, Jordan.
I don't know if you've seen, but Hamza Chowdhury has been linked with an exit in search of first-team football. I was just wondering where he ranks in your plans at the minute.
Well, yeah, listen, we've got a very, very competitive squad. He's played a good number of games for us this season, both starting and primarily in Europe, where he's done really well. It's a difficult one for him. Like today, wasn't in the squad, but that's something that we'll assess over the course of January. Very difficult to break into our midfield. If you look at Welf in there, who's one of the best recoverers of the ball, which is the role that Hamza plays. And of course, the other one who's performed outstandingly well for us is Papis Mendy. But yeah, he's a young player that's been in our squad and contributed really well. And we'll see over the course of January what happens with Hamza.
And can I just ask another one, if that's okay? Is it becoming more difficult to pick your side? Because I think I'm right in saying that you just Ricardo Pereira that's now out with injuries. And obviously, you had sort of injuries throughout the season, but you've now got a nearly fully fit squad. Is it becoming more difficult to pick your 11 on match day?
Well, it always is. I think it's one of the biggest, the most difficult jobs as a manager, is to pick the team, especially when the players are giving you absolutely everything every day in training. But we always pick a team that we think can win the game. I'm just happy that these players are going to give us options, because that's what we're going to need. I think that the common denominator in us dropping away at the end of last season was the unavailability of our key players, and we hope that we can maintain their fitness over the course of the second half of the season, and then that gives us a great chance to finish as high as possible. So yeah, it's always difficult, but you want as many of your players fit as possible, and thankfully, like you say, Ricky will hopefully be back very soon.
Cheers, Brendan.
Cheers.
Okay,
Thanks, Jordan.
I'm going to go to Rob Tanner and then Martin Hardy, please. So, Rob.
Hi, Brendan. How you doing?
Hi, Rob.
One player who's had a fantastic festive season, Harvey Barnes, played an important role in the opening goal today. I just wondered how closely you personally have worked with him, because his improvement over the last 12 months has been quite extraordinary.
No, I think it's just we with all the players we give them confidence. I think the big thing with Harvey is that he's a learner. He wants to learn, and we like to. All the coaches have contributed. My job was to manage the players as well as coach them. So just speaking to him the other day and reinforcing how well he's done, but he's got to keep pushing. I said when I first came in, he needed more numbers. So he needed to get into areas, and he's getting those numbers now. And in every game, he looks like he's going to score a goal. So no, I think the big credit is with the players. Him himself. He's hungry to learn. He's hungry to improve. The coaches do great work with him. Individual specific sessions. My job is to oversee that, as well as then talk to him and manage him and cajole him to run and to work even harder. So, but ultimately, it's for the player, because he has to want to learn, and he is. He's very committed to learning, and he's just only going to get better and better and better, Rob.
So what specifically have you worked with him on over the last 12 months? You say like individual sessions?
I think one, he's finishing. I think he's had work whenever where he's receiving the ball. I think in tactical sessions, it's about his strength is from the outside coming in, rather than being always on the inside. It's just giving him an awareness of the game, and that's done through analysis. It's done through individual sessions. It's done on the field. So it's just an ongoing process. It's what we are. We're the essence of our job is to coach and make players better, and that's the enjoyment that we have as a staff, and what I obviously love to do, and I've always done as a coach and manager. So yeah, but I think it's one he himself is gaining more confidence at the level. He's had a great experience out on loan. He's come back in that first 6 months I was here to back in from the Championship, gain confidence in that period, and then it's just a case of pushing and keep pushing him. And thankfully, he's a boy that's really committed to learning.
Thank you, Brendan. Happy New Year.
You too, Rob. Thanks.
Okay, we'll finish with Martin then, please. Martin Hardy.
Hi, Brendan. Happy New Year, first of all. I hope you're well. Just a word on your away form, the outstanding away form that's now the best in the Premier League.
Yeah, players have been outstanding in some of the games that we've played. There've been some real difficult games in there, but I just think it's time working together, evolving in our style and how we work, and then in certain games having to work a certain way. So it's a huge credit to the players and the mentality. To come away game like today, it's always going to be a tough game on the back of their last result. And I thought we coped with it really well in every aspect. So yeah, it's the first part of the season nearly done. So long way to go.
One more, if you don't mind. Have your ambitions and targets for the season changed then, with sitting in third, almost at the halfway stage?
No. It's still the same. Ambitions is to get into Europe again, and for us to progress. We want to be a team that year on year can get European football. It's always going to be a process for us. We don't have the finances to go and get that 70, 80, 90 million pound player. So for us, we have to develop an elite player. So bring in a young player, improve him, develop him, or have a senior player that we can really look after, like a Johnny Evans, who is a top player, and manage his careers through so that he can help our younger players. So for us, the goals are still the same. We're virtually at the halfway point. We've started the season very well, both in Europe and in the league, but a lot of work to do. And so we know where we're at, and that's, we're honest with ourselves in that positioning, and we just keep being as competitive as we can be.
Many thanks, Brendan. Best of luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers.